Hello, hello. Oh, I'm gonna move this. It flipped me around. Oil up. Oil up, Buttercup. I am putting on Valor, Courage, Confidence, Grounding, hey Janine, Brittany, I just Valored up. Let's do this. I'm nervous. Intro to Oils class I can teach all day long. Oils and emotions is another thing. But let's do it, right? Do it anyway. I'll wait about 30 seconds. Hi, Jareen. Brittany, you engaged woman. Amazing. Hi, Monica. Kelly. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining me this evening. Awesome. I hope you guys are doing good. Kathy. Okay, let's get started because people who are watching the replay don't want me to watch me just sit and say hi to people, which I would love to do. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Katie. Thank you. This was a maternity. I should give this to you, Katie. This was a maternity cardigan, but, you know, super stretchy, and I sleep in this because I sleep in my clothes. Okay. Emotions and oils. I have had I've had a lot of people ask me over the last few months how to use the feelings kit. Because it used to, and I'll have to look into this, it used to come with a CD and instructions, and it doesn't. So you get all these oils, these beautiful oils, and you don't really know what to do with them other than just put them on, and you know, they have these really cool names. But there actually is a specific order and how to use them, and a suggested order, and then places to put these different oils on, and then some suggested affirmations and things to say, and we'll talk about why you would do that, because up until about a year ago that was weird to me. And that just leads me into, as we talk, keep an open mind. I think that our society, we don't talk about emotions a lot. It's uncomfortable, and emotions are just emotions. Thoughts are just thoughts, and they happen. So let's talk about them, and then talk about what we can do to support them so that we handle our emotions properly. And I'm hoping that you walk away with just a little bit of hope to know that there are tools out there that can help you work through your emotions, can help you help your kids work through emotions, and that's pretty phenomenal. So the more I read, the more excited I get. Okay, so let's move on. Emotional baggage. So consider if you're somebody that hates to do laundry, and the thing that you hate the most is folding clothes. Let's say socks, okay? So you do the laundry and you have all the socks, and you're in your bedroom and you have this pile of socks that are just there, and you know you need to get to them, and you're like, well, I'll just get to them tomorrow, and I'll get to them the next day, and I'll get to them the next day, and you start walking around them, and the pile gets bigger, and you start walking around them, and then it just becomes part of your decor, right? You don't let anybody in your bedroom because you know it's there, and you don't want anybody to see it, but you're not doing anything about it. When I heard that analogy, I thought that was perfect. That's a lot. That has to me, it resonates in how a lot of us think about our emotions. We'll deal with them at some point. I know that I'm having this emotion and it's maybe not logical, or I really struggle in that area. I'll deal with it later. I don't have time to go to a counselor, or I don't have, Katie, I don't have, the time to work through this, or I don't want to take, medication or whatnot. There's so many different ways that our society deals with emotions. And it's like those socks that we don't really want to get to because it's uncomfortable. So let's start to talk about those. And let's see what these oils can do to help us. Okay, so we'll talk about some concepts, some things about thoughts and emotions, and then we'll dive into the oils, how they work with the body and emotions, and then we'll finish with the feelings kit. Okay, we're live. So if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so emotions start as thoughts. Okay, so we all have these thoughts. We see things, we meet people, we have these thoughts. We have approximately 30,000 thoughts per day, and we are conscious of less than 10% of those thoughts. Okay, so your unconscious mind is far more powerful than your conscious mind. So the things that you're aware of that you're thinking, there's 90% that's happening in your subconscious. And you have different frames of reference, how you were born or how you were raised. And so over time, you have made agreements and you have these thoughts that happen, okay? Thoughts become emotions, and emotions become attitudes, behaviors, lifestyles that become automatic behaviors, okay? So to me, that's power. It's how patterns start, right? So the thoughts are thoughts, right? Then they become emotions, and then they become behaviors or attitudes that just, like, you just fly off the handle and you're angry, and that's just your MO, all right? The thing is, and what I have started learning, and I had no idea because nobody talks about this stuff, that thoughts are things, okay? Thoughts become things, and they cause change in the body, okay? So, they turn into like electrical beings. So positive thoughts, negative thoughts, they become things in your body, and they stay there unless they are released or dealt with. Okay, so emotions and memories are stored in your cells, and emotions get transcribed on the DNA template of the cell. So trauma experiences, both good or negative, stay in your body unless they're properly released. And if you're thinking I'm crazy, and if you were at our class that we did a while back, you have heard the story, but they did lab tests with rats, and this is sad because I'm such a huge animal lover, but where they traumatized a rat. I don't know what they did. They traumatized the rat, and every time they would do that, they would ring a bell. And they would do that over and over again and they would measure like the reaction and stuff until they didn't traumatize the rat anymore, but they would ring that bell, and the rat would have that response, right? The fight or flight, the stress levels would have that response. Well, that rat had babies. And then when the babies were born and were, teenagers or whatever, they would ring the bell, and those rats would have that stress-related response. They'd never traumatized them. And what that tells us is that the DNA, so experiences and trauma and thoughts and emotions are carried in our cells, and they can be passed on to our children. And that's why a lot of the emotions and, struggles that we have, that maybe our parents had, and they're passed on. So if you don't think it matters to deal with things, think about what we're passing on to our children and our children's children. We can break that cycle. And that's why it's important to learn this stuff and then share this stuff, right? And it makes me so excited that there's this aspect of oils that goes beyond like head tension and stomach problems. I mean, there's this whole other realm that just like, I could just study it all day. Okay. So, this is where the conscious language comes from. The positive affirmations, the speaking life over, not letting your thoughts run wild. If you are a believer and you've ever opened the Bible, it says in there to take every thought captive, right? Because if you guys, when you let your mind run wild, we say the worst things to ourselves. I mean, up until I started learning about this stuff and learning what it was doing to my body, I would just, if I lose something, Shannon, you're such an idiot. You can't do anything right. Look at this house. You need to get your act together. I'm so dumb. I can't remember this. Or, I'm never going to be able to do this right. We don't say those things to our friends or our children, but we say those things to ourselves. And did you know that you're speaking to your subconscious, and your subconscious doesn't understand the negative? Isn't that crazy? So if you say, like we make agreements with ourselves, and we'll say, I'm a horrible person, and your subconscious is like, yes, you are. If you say, I'm not a horrible person, the subconscious is still saying, yes, you are. You're speaking in the negative, and it's our bent. It's the way that we just kind of naturally go to. So speaking affirmations, speaking life positive, can start to transform your cells and start to bring life and that energy, that positive energy through your body. Okay. It also says in the Bible, as a man thinketh, so is he, in Proverbs. Okay, so what you're thinking, you become. And so we want to speak affirmations, and we'll talk about what that has to do with oils later. Okay, so certain emotions are more attracted to certain areas of the body. So worry, so those molecules, that the energy that worry creates settles in your stomach, right? That makes sense. When you're worried, you feel like you're going to throw up sometimes, or you feel that nausea, right? Fear gets stored in the kidneys. Grief is stored in the lungs. Okay, so like I can't breathe. Like you're so overwhelmed with grief, and you feel that pressure on your tummy. Okay? Stress in the heart. Okay, so this is why people are having heart attacks. What is it? There's more heart attacks on Monday mornings than all other days, because people are going to work and their jobs are so stressful. So the stress gets settled in your heart. These are your emotions speaking to your body. So mind body, that connection is so insanely real. So the things that we're thinking and the things that we're experiencing, your emotions are communicating to your body. Anger is stored in your liver. So a lot of you know that. We talk about that all the time. And what's kind of interesting is there's a scientific fact for that. So when we talk about negativity, they become things. They're like electrical impulses and become things. Well, they go to your liver to be filtered out, and then they just get trapped there. So your liver is in the business of filtering things out that your body doesn't want, but the emotions get stored there. So to me, I was like, yes, a scientific response. So that makes sense, okay? So here's what's amazing, you guys. This death and life are in the power of the tongue. Amen. That is Proverbs, and it also says in James, the tongue is like a fire, right, and destroys all things. So it's crazy how this wisdom has been around forever, right? Okay, the awareness of alone. You've heard this now. The awareness alone of what thoughts do to us can create so much change in your life. Now that you know that, pay attention tomorrow how people talk. How people talk to them about themselves, how people talk about things. It's generally in the negative. And now that I am learning this, it's changing how I talk to my kids. It's changing how I try to rephrase what they're saying. And it changes everything when you put it in the positive. Try it. It's amazing. Okay, so clearly emotions affect your physical health. Did you know that research shows that 83% of illnesses can be traced back to the thought life? 83%. There is a book that I really hesitate to recommend it because it's pretty intense, and I feel like it's taken me a year to really want to pick it up and start to talk about it or read it. But it talks about how If you're having, like, let's say you have a sore knee, and there's actually an emotional, not always, but like if you have chronic pain in your knee and you don't know why, there's an emotional component to that. Unforgiveness. I don't know if that's the knee, but like lower back pain, sore shoulders, migraines, different things. There can be an emotional component of that if you work through that emotion, that pain will go away. Not always. But it's fascinating to me that you can start to work through that and heal your body. Cellular memory. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let's be clear. Your sense of smell is far more powerful than you give it credit. Okay, so this is where aromatherapy comes in. I never really paid attention to that term, aromatherapy. It just was like, you go to a spa, right? And there's like aromatherapy, or, it's just there to like make things smell good and like hide bad smells. Until you really think about it, it's smell therapy. And why that term came about is your sense of smell is the only sense of your 5 senses that can access what is called the limbic system in your brain. That is your seat of emotions. That is where your memories, your traumas, all get stored, and then they get filtered into different parts of the body, but it's the seat of emotions. So when you, I heard this example and that really resonated with me. So when you see a baby, you think baby, and then you'll have an emotional response. Like, oh, I love babies. Or when you're like totally done having babies, you're like, I love babies, but no, I'm so glad I'm done with diapers or whatever. You'll have a emotional response to that. Okay, hi Barb. If you hear a baby, you'll say, oh, I hear a baby, okay? But if you smell baby powder, all right, you are going to have an emotional response first and then a logical response. So if you're trying to have a baby and you can't, like you have fertility issues, that can cause a lot of stress or anxiety, or, oh, I love babies so much. You have that emotional response first and then a logical response. And so that would be why do I hate lavender so much? Because I had a really mean grandmother who had, wore lavender, burned lavender candles or whatever. And I hate lavender to this day. You may not even know why you hate it. I was talking to somebody else who didn't understand why she hated geranium so much, but there was that kind of disconnect with her mother, and her mother wore a perfume, because geranium is in like most perfume. Patchouli, right? A lot of people hate patchouli. A lot of people hate frankincense because they had struggles in the church, and a lot of times churches would burn frankincense. So it's fascinating when I teach these classes and these people have this visceral response to some of these oils, and I'm like, I wonder what that connection is, okay? So that is the emotional response, and so many times you have no idea why you hate something or you love something, and it's because smell is tied to memory, okay? Okay, so in the limbic system, there is what's called the amygdala, and that is like your fight or flight. Okay, so that's what's going to cause that adrenaline, and whether you want to fight back at something or run away, there's that amygdala. So any oil will open up that amygdala. So we're going to talk about some of these oils, but any oil is an emotional oil, because it's going to, that sense of smell is going to work on that amygdala. And that's why even if you're, like, let's say you have peppermint and you're supporting head tension, always breathe it in. Put it where you need it and breathe it in and work on that amygdala, because every oil has an emotional counterpart to it. Okay, so we're accessing that amygdala, the limbic system, and supporting our emotions in that way. And who doesn't need that support? Okay, so there are constituents in oils called sesquiterpenes. And most of the emotional blends that we have, which have names like valor and harmony and forgiveness, they all are very high in sesquiterpenes. And those carry oxygen to the brain to really support that brain function. And did you know one of the highest oils and sesquiterpenes is cedarwood? One of the very highest. This is $11 for an entire bottle of cedarwood. So if you want to start supporting your emotions, grab some cedarwood. Look at my ginormous water bottle. My husband got this for me. Like, this is as tall as me. Anyway, so these sesquiterpenes are what are helping, like, a lot of people think it smells like cat pee, and that's because cedar is in kitty litter, and so your brain is layering that memory of cat pee when you smell this. It does not smell like cat pee. It smells like wood, and it's beautiful. I have never been around cats. So let's talk about how this works. Okay, how do you use essential oils to help support your emotions? So let's go back for a second in how some of these things these emotions come about. When you have an event take place in your life when you're younger, you believe something about that event. All right, and a lot of this happens in our childhood. So something happens as a child, and you interpret what's happening. Well, kids are terrible interpreters. I'll say that again. Kids are terrible interpreters. Okay, they're great receivers of information. They're terrible interpreters. So when one time we left Kendall in a car seat in the car, and I thought Ryan had her, and he thought I had her, and we went into a party, and we left Kendall, and she was like, a year and a half or something, or 2, and then we're like tearing around the house looking for Kendall, and then we finally realized that she was still in the car, and it had been about 45 minutes. My first thing is, oh my gosh, I've ruined her for life. Well, she still has issues with that. Okay, so to her, we abandoned her, and it felt like that, right? And so she has a hard time being alone because of that, and I'm working with her through that. But she made that interpretation that if we shut the door from the car, like, we're not coming back, and she has she's made that interpretation that we are going to leave her, like we're not coming back, which is not true. That's just minor, right? Somebody's dad leaves when they're, left the marriage when a child was 3 years old, and I'm not lovable, it's all my fault. That's not true, but that's what they feel, right? So they interpret it, and then they carry that on to adulthood, and they make those agreements, even though it's not true. So until those traumas are let go, they're going to stay in the body, and they're going to come up. Hi, Mommy. They're going to come up in other kind of irrational ways, right? Like if your dad left when you were really young, and then you meet a guy and he doesn't show up for a lunch date or something, and you think, oh my gosh, see, everybody leaves me, which is not true, but you're carrying that with you. Okay. So until that truth, so what you can do, and I want you to stay with me here, because oils can help to reprogram our DNA, and the reason is that they can go in and get into cells and sort of dislodge those memories. They bubble up, you sort of relive them, and then you apply new truths to that. Does that make sense? So you can re-experience a feeling, apply a truth to that, and then you let it go. And oils can help bring those memories up. So does that blow your mind? Is that wild? Annalisa just joined. So, and we always use this story because her son was struggling with some big emotions. And he scanned we have a scanner that kind of scans you for what oils and supplements your body needs. And he scanned for forgiveness. And he was like 5. It's like, what does he need to forgive? But, that's just what he scanned for. And then they would apply it over and over and over for about a couple months. And he's a totally different child. Totally. And it never came back. Okay? So think about the power of that, you guys. Yeah. I just think about all the possibilities and all the hope that just that information right there brings. Okay? So, yep, emotions are stored in your brain all over the body. And that is why, oh yeah, I'll tell you one quick story and then we'll get into the feelings kit. I want to tell that story. No, I'm not going to tell that story. Okay. So some people are like, why would I want to relive something that was traumatizing? Why would I want to relive that? Again, because emotions that are stuffed, they're not gone. They are still there. And they're affecting you in many, many different ways that you don't even realize. And it can be affecting your relationships and how you get things done. They're affecting so many different parts of your life, and could be the reason why you are chronically ill, why you have, why you struggle with different physical ailments. And a lot of it could be because of the stuff that you're storing in your cells, the toxic emotions, right? Talk about toxic emotions. Okay, so it's worth it. It's worth it to get those out, apply new truths to them, and be done. Be done. Move on, right? Let's move on and live. Let's be free, okay? We were made for freedom. Okay, shall we dive into the feelings kit? Does anybody have any? Okay, so Candace, you asked about what the scan measures. So we have a scanner. It is called Itovi, ITOVI. And what it does is it scans the frequency in your body. So we are vibrational beings. And we, us and our body parts and our emotions vibrate at different frequencies. Also, oils, nature vibrates at different frequencies. So they know that certain oils can support, because of their frequencies, a certain set of oils can support, let's say, the immune system. And neurological function, brain fog, circulation. So all of those physical things, but also worry has a certain frequency. Your body vibrates at a certain frequency when you are worried, when you're stressed, when you are tired, when you are getting sick, when you are happy, when you are, angry, when you're holding on to bitterness. Okay, so believe it or not, they can measure those frequencies with this little tool. It's called bioimpedance, which is similar to Fitbit technology. They have all these algorithms in there, and it scans your body, and then it spits out the oils that you need. And that's how Annalisa uncovered this forgiveness oil for her son. And we just have periods of time where we're doing okay, or physically we're not. And so sometimes you'll scan for a lot of physical oils, and sometimes it'll be emotional oils. Sometimes you'll scan for physical oils and you're like, no, I'm doing good, but there's an emotional component to that physical oil. So that's why we do like oil mapping, where you scan and then you get, we start to put the pieces together and see a pattern. So it's pretty phenomenal. If you haven't been scanned, let me know and I will scan you. Okay, so the feelings kit. So this is a kit because there are so many emotional oils, and I'm so thankful because I want all of them, because we have so many emotions that we deal with, and then when I know other people, I can, help them. So it's a great tool for yourself, but it's also amazing to be able to offer that to other people who are struggling. Scan me. I'll scan you, Candace. So Gary Young, who is the founder of Young Living, he created this kit. So I believe he's a chiropractor or did some sort of natural medicine. And he, when he was working on his clients, all of these, he would start to see kind of areas where like so many people were having these issues in the same areas, and he detected that these are emotional components. So he created the feelings kit to support kind of those main areas where people struggle with, and then to help release, so then you can be free of physical pain too. Okay? That is why there is a specific order to the feelings kit too, because, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what that order is. Okay? So again, specific emotions and specific vibrations. Specific emotions vibrate at a certain frequency, and so these oils can help support those frequencies. That's the best way I can say it. Okay, so let's talk about valor. And let me preface this too by saying that be careful when you're working, because whether you think so or not, these can really bring up a lot of things. So like maybe don't go buy your feelings kit and be at lunch and on your lunch break start applying all the oils, because you might get emotional and you don't want to be in a business meeting or something and you're all of a sudden sobbing, and because you're reliving some sort of traumatic experience when you were a kid. Just be wise. Maybe, go low and slow. Use one. Be home. Just be wise. Okay, so Valor. So Valor in the kit is actually still Valor 2. So Valor is a blend. All of these are blends. And there were just some sourcing issues. So original Valor wasn't available for a long time. So they created Valor 2. Both accomplish the same thing. They just smell a little bit different. But so back in the Roman times, they the gladiators, or the men going into battle, would douse themselves in this blend of essential oils for courage, for grounding, for confidence, to combat fear, because those all have different frequencies. And they used oils back then, and they would like douse themselves. Wouldn't I love to be able to douse myself in Valor? Because this is, these aren't cheap. So you can just think about Valor and remember that story, and that will tell you what it's for, plus the name Valor. Okay, so we apply Valor to, when you're starting the protocol, you put 1 drop on 1 foot to kind of open it, and then you'll put a drop on the other foot. Why? Because it's grounding. Remember, we're talking about electricity, we're talking about vibrations, so this is a very grounding oil, so you can put it on your feet. And then we want to say an affirmation, because we want to speak in the positive. And you can say whatever you want. Just make sure it's in the positive. You're not going to say, I will not be afraid today. What is your subconscious hear? I will be afraid today. Okay? No. I am grounded in my life's purpose. I am courageous. I am strong. Whatever resonates with you, say that. Say it out loud. Say it to yourself. Say it in the mirror. Think it in your head if you're in public. Just say it. Just say it. Okay? All right. So calming, confidence, balancing, sense of courage, boost of confidence, helps to erase limiting thinking. This is great if you're going to do any public speaking or go into kind of I'm a little stressed out. A lot of people also put this on their shoulders, sort of as a I'm strong, I have courage. Okay, plus it doesn't hurt that it smells amazing. So when this was not available, Annalisa put a drop of this. She's so giving. She put a drop of this in my diffuser necklace, and I was like, I have to have that. Like, I need to have that. Obviously, my body was telling me you need to be, you need some liquid courage, girl. Okay, so a tip. Put a roller top. You can purchase these in a 10-pack. One of these comes in your kit, but you can pop a roller, and that just makes it a little easier to work with too. Okay, so that's the first one, Valor. Valor's okay to use in public. Valor's for courage. Valor's not one known to bring up all kinds of junk. All right, so you could just grab that and take that. Okay, the next one is Harmony. Okay, so Harmony. I forgot to tell you what's in Valor. Blue tansy, frankincense, geranium. It's bright blue. So be careful. It will stain your clothes if you get on it, because that blue tansy is bright blue. It's beautiful. Okay. Harmony. That is what it says. It actually, it has an extremely high frequency, and it is an energy balancer. So if you guys know about chakras, okay, again, don't go there with me or go there with me, but it's basically just energy. So if you've studied any acupuncture, or it's just kind of like Eastern medicine, but it's still science, all right? So we're not talking about theories, this is science. We have energy centers in our body, and it all goes down from the crown of our head to the pelvis, okay? Your, the first chakra is just the top of your head. So that's just like, brings harmony to the rest of your body. Okay, so you just put a drop on your head. And what's funny is that Peyton is like resisting oils right now, so I have him put a drop on my head because he just thinks that's super cool. All right, he's like, all right, I'll do it, Mom. But I feel like I'm modeling that for him. I'm like, it's not scary, it's not weird. I do it all the time. Okay, so just a drop on your head, and one affirmation you can say, I'm in harmony with my environment and those around me. Who doesn't want that, right? So it's an energy balancer. Gary Young says is when things have gotten emotionally out of whack, the flow of energy in your body will get skewed and things will not be flowing correctly, okay? Who doesn't feel like that when their emotions are all over the place? You are not in harmony with yourself or anybody around you, right? Am I right? Okay? So, sacred sandalwood, frankincense, lavender, ylang ylang, orange, angelica, bergamot, spruce, Roman chamomile, rose, that is all in here. It smells amazing. Anytime ylang ylang is in a lot of blends, a lot of emotional blends, and it balances male and female energies. So it's a really, really good balancer. So that's harmony. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. Okay, next is, so we've put Valor, one drop on our foot, and we've put a drop of harmony on our head. Some people for harmony like to take, once they put the drop, do that and just like touch down for those energy centers to just bring like, frequencies, like balance the frequencies. Okay? I know, Sarah, you're so good at having your kids put oils on you. Okay, forgiveness is next. I don't know anybody who doesn't hold unforgiveness in their heart, either somebody else or themselves, right? It's hard to forgive yourself, especially if you've royally screwed up. Like when I left my child in the car, nobody calls CPS on me. It happened a long time ago. It's never happened again. But I still struggle with that because, Kendall still struggles with that. But forgiving yourself, you guys, nobody's perfect. Forgiving other people. We all know that when you don't forgive somebody else, you're not hurting them, you're hurting yourself, right? That is just a fact. The reason that we do forgiveness in this order is sometimes you really need the courage to do that, and that's why you do Valor, and then you do Harmony, and then you're ready to go, okay, I'm ready to think about this and to be open to forgiveness. If you're a believer at all, that is a biblical principle, okay? So it's directly related to spiritual and emotional freedom, to free yourself. So forgive in order to free yourself, right? That's the most important. So forgiveness can bring things back to your remembrance of what you need to let go of so people can be out of your life in a positive way. I hear this all the time. So people who use forgiveness will all of a sudden have a memory of somebody, and I don't know why I'm seeing this person. Then you think about it and you're like, oh, yeah, you know what? I haven't really let that go. And it could be a small thing, it could be a big thing. But remember, those memories are stored in your cells, and when you're holding on to them and you haven't properly released them, it's still there. So this oil, because of the frequency, can bring those up. That is amazing. So it promotes a willingness to move forward. So Gary Young says, and I don't think anybody disagrees, a lack of forgiveness is one of the most common roots of physical, mental, and spiritual disease, and so it is very important that it is released. Okay? So what you do with forgiveness is you apply it to your navel, around your belly button clockwise. So one drop I'm just gonna, I just love this oil so much. And so just 1 drop, and you apply it around the navel clockwise. Why do we do clockwise? In general, oils used clockwise speed things up, and then counterclockwise to slow things down. Think about that for digestion, but that can also help. So we want to promote forgiveness. So we want to kind of speed that up, right? Why the navel? The navel area is where all nerve endings, that is your core. It's where there's a lot of nerve endings, and it's an emotional area. Okay, so that's the reason for the navel. Also, all of these can also be, like, if you have residual, apply it to your ear, because there's a lot of emotional points on your ears too. Always smell. So you're just going to smell so amazing after you've applied all these oils. And then somebody's going to go, what are you wearing? And I'm like, oh, like 100 different oils. So get the peelings kit. You'll smell that way too. Okay, forgiveness has melissa, geranium, frankincense, rosewood, lavender, jasmine, and helichrysum in it. So I love it so much. Okay, so let's review. We've done valor, a drop on 1 foot. We've put a drop of harmony on our head. Oh, did I say our affirmation? Our affirmation, I forgive myself and others who have hurt me. So powerful. Okay, so we've done clockwise around the navel. Okay, you could stop here. If you still hold on to unforgiveness, does the instructions, you're going, no, that's why I'm doing this video. I can post sort of a quick reference guide. I feel like I haven't really found a good one, so maybe I'll create one. I do that for a living, so maybe I'll do that. That's why we're doing the video, because I get questions all the time, and I haven't really seen a consistent one. Okay. So you could stop here until you're ready to work through the rest, all right? If you hold unforgiveness, there's no point in moving on. There's no point in moving to release, which is our next oil, if you are holding on to unforgiveness, okay? So, but let's say you truly are open and you are ready to move on, and we're going to release. So I know a lot of people... be careful if you use this at night, because it can affect your sleep. Some people have just gotten release and used it, and they're just super emotional. Again, this is where we want to start being careful of when we're using this, and just to have the time to process if something comes up. Don't stuff it, right? That's the whole point we're doing this. We're not stuffing our emotions and our feelings anymore. We're going to release them. We're going to feel them, and then we're going to apply new truths to them. We're going to let them go. Just let them go. We don't want to be dragging around these big backpacks of stuff going into, our lives. So let it go. Release can really help you do that. Okay? Negative energy goes into the blood. That negative energy that's in the blood then goes into the liver to cleansing and can become trapped. So this is where we're talking about the liver, and this is where we apply release oil to the liver. Do you guys know where the liver is? I had to look it up. Opposite your heart on the lower, so like here's your heart, so your liver's going to be down here, the opposite. So that's how I remembered it. Isn't that sad? I honestly had to look up liver. Brittany says I use it every night. However, I do not take emotional oils lightly. I have moved so far past so much in the last 2 weeks. Amen, sister. Amen. Freedom. That's what we're going for. Can I mention that prayer is amazing with oils too? Because whatever you believe, I truly believe these are gifts from the Lord. So anytime you can incorporate prayer, positive affirmations, and oils, do it. Okay. Liver specific. Okay, so release is specifically designed to help, obviously, release stored emotions, but specific really to anger, frustration, resentment, jealousy. It's very calming. It smells. Did I say everything smells amazing? It smells so good. It's designed to help let go of emotional trauma in general. Okay, extremely powerful for deep-seated trauma. There's another oil that can help you even go deeper. But again, okay, similar to forgiveness, We're going to put a drop and we're going to apply it to our liver clockwise. Again, right? Because we want to speed up the release. We don't want to slow it down. So like our liver, and you can say, I release all that does not serve me. Just let it go. Okay? And then what do? Get that in your brain, get that those sesquiterpenes into your limbic system, and just to really help process what's out there. Oh my word, I love it. Again, put it on your ears too. Okay. This could all be connected to this event in my life and how I've responded to it throughout the years. Okay, I don't know why I wrote that, but release has ylang ylang, again, ylang ylang, right? Geranium, blue cypress, ocotea, tangerine. Tangerine is so uplifting and great for dark emotions, I should say. Royal Hawaiian sandalwood. So release is phenomenal. Okay, so we're starting to be open to forgiveness. We're working on releasing. We're smelling. We're saying our affirmation, and we're going to move into present time. Ladies, present time. This is probably my biggest struggle, is staying in the moment. If you're a mama, I don't think we have any men on here. If you're a mama, you know we have a hard time staying in the present because we have so much that we have to do. Gary Young says this is, out of all the oils, this is the one you want to keep in your pocket because we're always thinking about the next thing. Okay, so most of us live by worrying about the future or living in the past. So applying present time can help you stay in the moment. So they actually say to, we're going to apply present time to the inner wrists, behind the ears. So the inner wrists, behind the ears, and then your thymus. Does anybody know where your thymus is? We're having like biology class. So it's like 3 fingers down from this like whole thing, right? So like your thymus. Okay, so you're going to apply that there too. Okay, this is great to take on vacation, to stay in the moment, right? So we're relaxing, we're hanging out with our kids, we want to stay in the present. It has orange, spruce, ylang ylang again. Affirmation, I am rooted in the present moment. I am enjoying the present moment, whatever you want to say, but I am here and now. Today is where I am. Today is beautiful. Today, the present is beautiful. Whatever you want to say. Okay, so that's present time. Okay, so the last one is inner child. And this smells like Fruit Loops to me. I love it so much. It has jasmine, sandalwood, neroli, ylang ylang, tangerine. If you guys just are not ready for the feelings kit, go buy yourself some ylang ylang and start to work through stuff because it's in everything. It's a really high frequency. Okay, inner child has kind of a couple valuable points. It is, it can help us get through past childhood hurts, traumas. You guys, this does not need to be like abuse. I mean, some of us have gone through that, but it could be nobody showed up to your birthday party, right? That's traumatic. Or you got, bullied at school or ridiculed. I have stuff from, everybody got made fun of or something, and you carry that on. So it can help you to release those things. Again, apply new truths. People used to make fun of my teeth because I had a huge space in between my teeth, and they always asked me if I shopped at the Gap. My nickname was Bucky Beaver. And, now I've let it go because I know I'm not Bucky Beaver. I'm Shannon, and I don't have to be self-conscious of my teeth. Thank God for braces. Mom, thank you for paying for braces. But you carry those things with you, and you can learn to let those go. But it can also help you be creative. So one of my, Megan, you're killing me. One of my words for the year is play. So I really love inner child because it helps to stimulate that creativity. So what did Gary say, which to me summed the whole thing up? find where I wrote that, or where I think I wrote that somewhere. But anyway, it's when you're a child, you're open to anything. You're creative. You don't have all these, inhibitions, right? So it helps you to let those go and just play, because we need to do that. Life is beautiful. And if you have children, get down on the floor and play with them. That's really hard for me. So I use Inner Child to really help not only let some of that stuff go, but to just learn how to play. So where do you put that? So this has orange, neroli, tangerine, and ylang ylang. So under your nose, right here. And so you can smell it and keep staying, learn how to start to, you keep smelling it, and it helps you start to release and also stimulate creativity. Some people actually put it on their thumb and put it on the roof of their mouth, which there's directly above the roof of your mouth is some emotional areas of your brain, and so it helps to access that. I actually haven't done that. I have no idea what this tastes like. I'm not sure I want to do that. Okay, what's our affirmation? I'm connected to my inner child. All things are possible. There are no limitations. That's what I was looking for. I love that. All things are possible. There are no limitations. Getting rid of all those limiting beliefs that we have, that people have told us. My sister was a good singer, and she always told me I couldn't sing. So to this day, I don't sing because I don't know, it just, that was a belief. I said, okay, no, I can't sing because she says that, which is ridiculous. So I just need to start singing out loud in the car. What do you guys think? I sang to Brittany the other day for her birthday. Okay, so we're done. We're going to close the protocol with Valor again on the other foot. So you're going to put a drop on the other foot, you're going to close it, and you're going to say again, I am grounded and rooted in my life's purpose. I am confident and courageous. You guys, I don't care if you use oils. Say those things to yourself. Say those things. It will change your life. If you start speaking in the positive, if you don't believe it, say it anyway. Okay? And say it to other people. We need to say it to other people. People need to hear that. Okay, that is the feelings kit. I missed the, okay. Do EOs work positively with antidepressants and other drugs used for mental illness and depression? So you need to talk to your doctor. I am not a doctor at all. I am not aware of any ways that they counteract antidepressants. The only drug counteraction I'm aware of is grapefruit, but that's for more physical. So Candace, let me get back to you on that, because I honestly haven't heard of that counteracting. Again, we're talking about plants, but plants are powerful, so there might be something to consider. Again, always consult your doctor, and I am not telling anybody to discontinue medication if you're on it at all. Please hear me, okay? Be smart, be wise, go with your heart. Okay. You guys are so funny. Okay, some other of my favorite emotional oils, and then we will close. Belief. We all struggle with belief. Belief in ourselves, belief that we can do whatever we put our minds to, belief that we're worthy, belief that we were created in God's image and we have value, right? So all those things that we don't believe, there is an oil for that, because that disbelief carries a frequency, okay? And so does this blend, all right? This is beautiful. I put this on the crown of my head. Again, there's something special about the crown of your head. That's where they anointed people in different areas, but there's something special about the crown of the head. I talked about that's like the first chakra, which is just like an energy center. So dropping this on, and again, it's got kind of a piney scent, but and saying an affirmation, whatever. Like if you have a goal, like speak that you've already reached it. But also, I am worthy. I am. I always like to say, I get up in the morning. I am a daughter of the King. I'm a child of God, and to me, I have instant value. It doesn't matter if I get anything accomplished during the day. I have instant value. So I love belief. If you don't have belief, back at it. White Angelica. Oh my goodness, White Angelica. This is like a shield. Okay, so we have, this is a whole nother, the whole nother class, but when you sense negativity, if you're around negativity, you feel it. You know when people are, when you're around negativity, you feel it. This can act like a shield. So you actually put it on and just, so it helps with, like, sort of create a shield around you so you don't take on that stuff, right? This is, all counselors, teachers, anybody who's around people should be doing White Angelica, because you, especially women, are receivers. We're burden bearers, so we take on people's stuff, okay? A couple others. There's Trauma Life for really deep-seated trauma. Motivation, Gratitude, Awaken is an oil that's a blend of blends. So that's a really fabulous one to start with. Gratitude, humility. But can I just say, like, Citrus Fresh is amazing too. So don't, because, like, things that are more expensive aren't necessarily, like, the most powerful. Like I mentioned, cedarwood, Citrus Fresh. So let's summarize. And I just want you to know all oils can really support emotions. So again, we're tapping into that limbic system in the brain that can only be accessed through smell, right? And pairing those with prayer and affirmations. I, again, believe that these are a tool that were given to us that have been used for thousands of years. But because of our society and the fact that we want a quick fix, we don't want to relive past traumas. We don't want to feel emotions. We are ridiculed because of them. Emotions are okay, right? It's okay that we have feelings and they are what they are, but let's not stuff them. Let's let them go. Let's process them and speak life, all right? So we want to live in freedom. We don't want to be carrying these big, huge bags around with us. And we want to live in perfect health, and that means physically, spiritually, emotionally. So use your oils, use your affirmations, and I will get you a quick reference guide on how to use the Feelings Kit. So to get the Feelings Kit, I can put a link on where you can order. If you're already a Young Living member, you just go on, get the Feelings Kit. It's $180, okay? But we are using 1 drop, all right? 1 drop. So it's going to last you a long time. I will tell you, Harmony alone is like, a 15 mil of Harmony is like $80 or $90. So if you want Harmony, get it in the kit. It's so much cheaper, okay? I'll stay on for a couple more questions, but boom, we're at the top of the hour. My goal was 1 hour, and I did it. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you joining tonight. I want to hear about your experiences. If anybody starts using oils, let us know. We're all learning about this together. And otherwise, have a good night. I'll stay on if there's any questions. Mwah. Good night, everybody. How many oils come in the kit? So there's 6 oils that come in the kit. So it's Valor 2. They're about to change it back to Valor now that we have it. So Valor, Harmony, Forgiveness, Release, Present Time, and Inner Child. So it's the 6 oils. And if you buy them individually, they're a lot more expensive than if you buy them in a kit. So you just get a discount if you want all the oils. But again, I like affordable, so Awaken is amazing. And thanks, Tracy. Good night. Awaken, Ylang Ylang I talked about. Cedarwood. Use orange. Use lemon. Use lavender. Get a kit. Start working with that. So you don't need the Feelings Kit to start working through emotions. Please. Please hear me on that. Where do you put White Angelica? You would put a drop or 2 and as a shield. So with your clothes on, you're just going to put it as a shield and then always smell it. Okay? You're going to smell great, but you're not going to take on people's stuff. And there are some pretty powerful testimonies about White Angelica. I'm never going to remember all this. It was great. Baby steps, Sarah. Baby steps. Okay. Okay? This is why we do videos and record them. Yes, thank you, Sarah. White Angelica all over. Great for diffusing. Oi, so good. Anything else? Go tell everybody. Tag people in this video. People need to know, right? Good night, Kelly. Love you guys. Yes, Mandy, you're gonna keep me honest on that one. Thanks, Janine. Mwah. You guys are amazing. I need a smaller water bottle. It's as big as my head. Oh, Megan, you're amazing. Wait, I'm gonna end this and it will be posted in a little bit. Good night, everybody.